you always come back to who does it remind you most of? And for me, it reminds me a lot of my friend Charles Barkley, meaning that he's done everything always the right way, except maybe throw a guy through a window here and there. But for the most part.
Who says that wasn't the right way? It depends
on exactly,
what led up
right?
to it. Yeah,
Chuck would say it was the right
moment.
way. But CP3 just, it's like he's snake bitten almost to the point where, like you said, Game 7, he doesn't all of a sudden get to Game 7 and his butt cheeks get so tight he can't shoot a BB out of him. It's not like that. It just happens that way. A kicker doesn't all of a sudden miss a chip shot when he's consistently made chip shots. It just happens that way. And in this situation with CP3 in Game 7, it happened again. So I don't know what that is, but when I look at a basketball player's career that's done everything, basically, right, Jay? You guys,
yep.
Jay, he's done it all. Olympics, all the whole deal. Same as Barkley, except Barkley got the MVP.
Well, Key, here's the problem, right? Legacies are complex, and the good and the bad are part of the legacy. But what's going to happen to CP3 is that these little parts of bad outshine how incredible he's been, right? Like, the legacy is led the NBA in assists 5 times, steals record 6 times. Like, he'll finish top 5 in both those categories. 12 NBA All-Star teams, 10 All-NBA teams, 9 NBA All-Defensive teams, NBA Rookie of the Year. That's part of the legacy. But what we'll be talking about, unfortunately, which I hate for CP3, is Key, all the visuals last night you saw of him holding his hand. You're starting to hear the stuff about the quad injury, right? That he was playing on the quad injury the last 3 or 4 games. You'll go back to the Houston Rockets series in which they were up, and then all of a sudden he gets hurt. That's a big part of the legacy, Max, in which he can't stay healthy in those meaningful moments where you need him to be that guy.
And that may have something to do with his size, but I want to get back to something you just said. The reason that we even care whether or not he wins a championship is because of all those stats you said. He is one of the people we care about because of how incredible he is, right? But then it gets to a thing that Key, you've said many times, like, did he win a championship? If you ain't got the championship, right, then that means a lot to you. Same thing, you're a sports fan, not just an athlete. A lot of fans feel the same way. Now, I think Barkley's an interesting comparison because Barkley, when we saw Blake Griffin at first and however that turned out, and we saw Zion Williamson at first, we wonder, can a wide-body, power-forward type guy ever really be the best play? He got enough wiggle to get through, but not really like a two-way wing. He doesn't have the kind of passing ability that a point guard has. He's not a rim defender because of his height, really. Can that guy ever be the best player in the world? Charles Barkley was as good as you could possibly be for that kind of player. That kind of player wasn't good enough to win a championship, given the era he played in, but every era is tough. CP3 is like when you watch him, you can't imagine a 6-foot point guard playing a more perfect point guard than that. But the question is, can that kind of player ever be the best player on a championship team? The answer so far has been no, like it was with Barkley. And in this case, Devin Booker was supposed, it's okay, he's older, Chris Paul, he's smaller. He got this killer Devin Booker with him. Nope, in the moment of truth, Luka sunned him. I mean, like, in the moment of truth.
Well, it wasn't Luka, some Jason Kidd's scheme.
Okay, but Luka also did whatever he wanted.
I understand, but I'm giving a lot of credit to the scheme because I feel like a lot of people just say, oh, Luka did it, but the scheme was really incredible about how they played and how they targeted CP3 and his lack of size. Like, here's the thing. Like, when people call me small, right, I'm like, okay, like, cool, Key. Like, I get it. Like, I'm 6'2". But, like, when I'm around Keyshawn Johnson's, in the big scheme of things, like, that looks small. CP3 on the court, when you're going against Luka, who's 6'7", 6'8", they're switching, they're getting the matchup on you. There's nothing you can do.
Jason Kidd had experience in Milwaukee where he tried to have everyone fight through every screen, as I recall. The defense is a little funky. He got that experience. He is showing out right now as a coach. By the way, is Chris Paul's window to win a championship closed, right? Because that's ultimately what we want to know. Here's Chris Paul on that very topic.
Did it hit you a little harder when the buzzer is a lost opportunity?
Not at all. They said that last year. Probably said it back in 08. You know, you play long enough and you don't win. Every time you lose, they're going to say it was your best chance. But I think for me, we'll be right back next year. I'll tell you that much. I'm not retiring tomorrow. thank God, hopefully I'm healthy, come back, but keep playing.
It's interesting to hear him say that versus what Giannis said after his loss to the Celtics is just different. Chris, I understand what he's saying because he's going to fight to try to, like hell, to get back to in the same position next year, and they very well could be in the same position, but the West is going to get better, okay? The Lakers are going to get better. The Clippers are going to get better. Minnesota is there. Memphis is there. So it's just going to get better. Denver, Utah, so on and so on. You talk about the Pelicans. Things are going to get better. I just don't – I would – man, if it was me, I'd have been sitting up there. Craig had to bring me 5 boxes of tissue because you got to be realistic in these situations. The window probably has closed for CP3. I just hate to say it.
Maybe as the best or second best player on the team, but both Jason Kidd and Gary Payton got championships by catching on and being contributors on teams where they were no longer what they had been.
But we're talking about Max, this team. We ain't talking about all of a sudden 2 years from now him going to join the Milwaukee Bucks. We're talking about
I agree. It means something different. I agree.
Now.
It means something different than Isaiah Thomas, who did it in his prime.
We're going to focus a lot on CP3 today, but I don't remember CP3's name being mentioned in the same sentence as Kobe Bryant last year. So Devin Booker, I get the conversations around CP3, but Devin Booker did not deliver when you needed the best player on the best team all year to come through. I understand a lot of conversation will be about the legacy of CP3. But this is a big knock to Devin Booker at home in this kind of game where Luka and him were barking back and forth, and Luka definitely got the best of him 2 games in a row.
You can't just smell like Kobe. You can't give us a feeling of Kobe.
And he didn't put his name in the same
sentence
as Kobe.
Yeah.
Other players did, but damn, D-Book.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.